In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we'll take a look back at Highfield Hall's Stickwork sculpture that has been captivating visitors for over 2 years. Join the Falmouth Education Foundation in paying tribute to a pair of Falmouth residents, and we'll talk with one Falmouth resident that is doing his part to help with the crisis in Ukraine. All this and much more on this edition of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. The latest reports show that COVID-19 case counts continue to be low in the town of Falmouth and statewide, with masking mostly optional in our schools and no longer required in town-owned properties. The Friday briefings by Falmouth's health agent, Scott McGann, are a good way to stay informed of the latest local, state, and federal guidance, and you can view the briefings on FCTV Government Channel 15, our Facebook page, and fctv.org. As the war in Ukraine continues, we have seen an outpouring of support from around the world for the growing refugee crisis, and Falmouth is no exception. One Falmouth resident has taken up a large collection of badly needed supplies, packed them, and delivered them personally to Ukraine. We spoke with him shortly before he left.
It's 21st century and we got a war going in the middle of Europe and it's unbelievable. We need to stand up and we need to help them out. Poland is helping them, European Union is helping them, but they need our help as well. And it boiled to the point where I just bought the plane tickets and I said, I can't, I have to go there. We have to do something. And I connected with a volunteer organization over there, which asked to bring kids and women out of the war zones, out of Kiev and Kharkov, and during the green corridors, which we all know are not that green. And I've never driven a bus. I've driven a 10-wheeler, but they don't care. Just nobody wants to do that. And they need to bring women and children out of those towns that are getting bombed. So I agreed. We got 6 full suitcases of medical supplies, and that's probably the top of what I can bring with 2 hands, since I have to walk through the neutral zone with those suitcases between Poland and Ukraine. But the response of our neighbors and people of the Cape, great, absolutely. We know in difficult times, I know that Cape Codders, we kind of stand up and help each other. And I think that's the moment where we need to stand up and help Ukraine. I'm not prepared. I'm not a hero. I'm very, very scared. You know, I have a family. I mean, I have children. I have a beautiful wife, and I have things to lose and people to lose. But you know, it is just what it is.
Sergey recently returned home from Ukraine, and we will bring you more of his story on future episodes of Falmouth in Focus. It's time now for 3 Things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
The Select Board met this past Monday evening for a regular meeting. On their agenda was an item asking the board to vote for several ballot questions to be put on the May election, one of which was to vote debt exclusions for the Sandwich Road Fire Station and wastewater treatment plant projects.
Shall the town of Falmouth be allowed to exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2 1/2, so-called, the amounts required to pay for the bond issued to pay for costs of design and construction of a fire station to be located on Sandwich Road, including the payment of all costs incidental and related thereto.
A second ballot item was presented and discussed from a petition regarding the disposal of any nuclear waste material in Cape Cod Bay. The petition asked that the Pilgrim Nuclear Power Plant cease any plans of disposing of any waste in the bay.
Question for the 2022 spring town ballot, calling upon Holtec Pilgrim LLC, owner of the closed Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station, and Holtec Decommissioning International LLC, to immediately withdraw any plans to discharge any radioactive water into Cape Cod Bay.
The Select Board also discussed the 2 horse troughs that are located at the entry to the water treatment plant on Gifford Street. The board voted one of the 2 troughs be relocated to another location, possibly Woods Hole.
At the time, it was widely publicized, there was newspaper articles and so forth, and DPW put a lot of time and effort into refurbishing and locating these horse troughs at the Gifford Street Water Station as a nice welcome to the new $41 million plant there. And there is a compromise proposed by Mr. Suso that we move one water fountain down to Woods Hole, where it would be highly visible and appreciable by the public, and leave the other water fountain at its existing location on Gifford Street.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. It's now time for our calendar segment. On April 14th at 7 p.m. at the Lawrence School, the Falmouth Public Schools is hosting its first ever storytelling event called A World of Stories. Through a series of collaborations with Immigrant Refugee Alliance, Stella Story Company, and Falmouth Education Foundation, multilingual learners engaged in storytelling workshops with Cheryl Hamilton. The students are excited to share their international stories and help build community through this free event. Go to the FEF webpage for more information. From Tuesday, April 19th through Friday, April 22nd, FCTV is offering its popular Spring Vacation Animation Camp for children ages 6 to 14. The 4-session program will be offered during the spring break period from school, and children will learn to make short animated videos using claymation, stop-motion techniques. Go to fctv.org for registration information. On April 28th, don't forget to join us at 7 p.m. for the next virtual installment of our open mic series, Poetic License. Sign up for another night of poetry and prose, stories and songs, with entertainment provided by you and your friends and neighbors. April's suggested theme is We Belong to Mother Earth. Pre-register by Wednesday, April 27th to receive your Zoom login information. Check out fctv.org for more details. Falmouth Police will take part in Prescription Drug Take-Back Day on April 30th. The nationwide event aims to provide a safe, convenient, and responsible means of disposing of prescription drugs while educating the public about the dangers of abusing medication. Unwanted prescription drugs may be dropped off at the police station from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also on April 30th, from 9:30 a.m. to noon, Cape Cod Community College is hosting a cyberspace challenge for parents and children of all ages. This free event invites families to learn more about the college's week-long cybersecurity summer programs, get information on careers and degree programs in cybersecurity, and explore fun, hands-on cyber activities. Advanced registration is required by April 20th. Go to capecod.edu. Before we go to a quick break, we'd like to remind you that FCTV has been nominated to receive a Martha's Vineyard Bank Charitable Foundation Community Impact Grant. 2 nonprofit organizations from Falmouth and 2 from Martha's Vineyard will each receive a $5,000 grant. And if you haven't already voted, there's still time. More information is available on our website, fctv.org, and voting ends at 5 p.m. on April 8th. We'll be right back with a look back at an iconic but temporary landmark in Falmouth. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Rowland, president of Arts Falmouth. Arts Falmouth was founded in 2006 to celebrate and promote the visual, performing, and literary arts in and around Falmouth. We're very proud of our three major events, the Woods Hole Trad Stroll, Arts Alive, and the Jazz Stroll. In 2021, Trad Stroll was virtual. We recorded 19 concerts and talks and presented them on Falmouth Community Television and YouTube. That was fun. But we're looking forward to returning to live concerts in May of 2022. The stroll celebrates not only our diverse musical heritage, but also the enduring charm and vitality of the village of Woods Hole, and, like all our events, seeks to include all members of the community. In 2021, we moved Arts Alive from June to September, and it was glorious. Outstanding entertainment, creative artists and craftspeople, perfect weather, and a heartwarming sense of community. In 2022, Arts Alive will return to its usual date, Father's Day weekend, which is June 17th, 18th, and 19th on the Falmouth Library lawn. Arts Alive has something for everyone: music, theater, dance, children's activities, plus handcrafted treasures and local nonprofit organizations. Jazz Stroll takes place in October in shops and restaurants along Main Street and Queens Byway. It's a delightful sampling of the music of local jazz musicians and a chance to visit some unique local businesses. We've already begun planning for these events, plus our spring annual meeting, and invite you to join us as a volunteer, performer, artist, or craftsman. We are grateful to our many generous sponsors and volunteers. We couldn't do it without you. For more information, visit artsfalmouth.org or email us at info@artsfalmouth.org. We would love to hear from you. Thank you.
Welcome back to Falmouth in Focus. The massive Stickwork sculpture that adorned the front lawn at historic Highfield Hall has been dismantled after captivating visitors for over 2 years. The work was built by visionary sculptor Patrick Doherty and his son, along with dozens of volunteers. We stopped by Highfield to take a look back at a passing fancy.
For almost 3 years, this was an artwork by Patrick Doherty, a stickwork sculpture constructed by Patrick and his son Sam and volunteers at Highfield Hall and Gardens. It was a beautiful exhibit. A design of Patrick's. Patrick would do the superstructure work, and the volunteers would follow behind and do the weaving of the sticks. And it was just held together by the weaving of the volunteers.
I feel so fortunate that I started at Highfield only a short time before Patrick Doherty arrived here to begin his creation. And from that month of his building it with the community volunteers, it was terrific to interact with him and to get to know a little bit about him in terms of his process and his philosophy.
It was extremely popular, and over time it became even more popular. People would come up and people would come back, return, and bring their friends and bring their family and return trips, and everyone loved it. It was just very fitting for the spot. Our curator Joanne is working on some things to do here, because I anticipate a lot of people returning this summer to see Stickworks, which isn't here, but Joanne is going to have a replacement, which will be a good thing.
For the summer of 2022, we will be hosting the Boston Sculptors Gallery when they celebrate their 30th anniversary as a cooperative group of sculptors. And I have about 40 artists who will be participating, and half of those will be showing their work, installing their work on the grounds, and the other half will be indoors. So coming around the corner will be our second rotation of the Collectors Collecting Collections series that is happening all year. We will be taking down the world of nature and putting up a category of collections that are kind of fashion and decorative arts based, fashion accessories, some fashion. For the summer of 2022, we will have the return of the fairy houses. And this year, the theme is the elements. And you can take that however you want it to mean. We have very limited space this year because we are also showing a lot of sculpture outside. So please, if anyone is interested in participating, to check out the website, and you should see a form there to submit your proposal.
We will bring you more on the new sculptures as they are installed later this year. Visit their website to learn more at highfieldhallandgardens.org. Thanks to our intern Eric Larry for that story. OpenCape, a 100% fiber optic network built specifically for businesses and residents on the Cape and Islands, recently held a press conference in Falmouth, and FCTV was there to learn more about how they're helping local businesses with affordable internet connectivity.
Today marks a pivotal moment in kind of the development of broadband capacity on the Cape. Years ago, 2 years ago, when Michael told the story and Wayne told the story of businesses not being able to process credit cards, that was where we came from. And I'm happy to say 2 years later, even with COVID, we have paid back the mass development loan. As tourists come here, and we all know the importance that tourism has on our economy, they can stay at their hotels and work remotely. We saw during COVID and the pandemic where people wanted to come to the Cape, they relocated to the Cape, and they were working. And that's something we want people to be able to come here to live, work, and play. And I think OpenCape, in cooperation with towns, makes that incredibly easier.
Troubling a couple of years ago to hear that businesses were having trouble processing credit cards and it was causing some problems. So for them to have this connectivity is very important, and now to find out that it can be more affordable is great, and it's exciting for me. As a resident, I'm looking forward to FalmouthNet becoming a reality, and I can't wait to get connected.
But here we are in Falmouth today, where they figured this out locally, and we want to take that, bottle it, and ship it across the Cape, the islands, southeastern Mass. Because we have fiber to the home, fiber directly into the home, into the business. It's 100% fiber. And unfortunately, fiber will always outperform the kind of legacy copper networks that companies like Comcast and the big national providers rely on.
But the FalmouthNet would be a town-wide initiative. And I don't think people quite get the concept of how important that is from a business perspective. So many people work from home these days, and I think if Falmouth was the first town on the Cape to have that fiber capability, we'd probably bring a lot more people here that have home-based businesses which need to upload large files. So I think it's a real advantage that we're not quite putting in perspective yet.
We don't see FalmouthNet as a competitor to OpenCape. We see them as a trusted partner, where our broadband infrastructure, our middle mile network, can connect the Falmouth network, and it's a win-win both for OpenCape and for Falmouth.
We will keep you informed about the project on future episodes. Thanks to Alan Russell for that coverage. We're going to take a quick break to hear about an adoptable dog from Friends of Falmouth Dogs. And when we return, we'll go fishing with Ryan Collins of My Fishing Cape Cod. Stay with us.
Nico is a beautiful 3-year-old Lab American Staffordshire Terrier mix. She wants nothing more than to be part of a family that loves her. Nico weighs about 50 pounds, loves to run, play, and go on long walks. Food and treats are super motivating for her, which makes training much easier. Currently, Nico is in a foster home with a 12-year-old Samoyed, and they get along very well. Nico would do well in an active home with a fenced-in yard. Contact Friends of Falmouth Dogs at 508-548-7742 for more information.
Welcome back. This time on My Fishing Cape Cod, Ryan Collins takes us back to a fishing trip last April and teaches us how to fish for calico bass in local ponds.
It's early spring on Cape Cod, and the shoreline is a cold and windy place. However, just beyond the dunes lies dozens and dozens of beautiful ponds. On April 23rd, I again went fishing with my friend and MFCC member Jeff Coates at a small pond located just off Cape. It is possible to catch calico bass on Cape Cod, but they are more plentiful in southeastern Massachusetts. Black crappies bite well, but they don't fight as hard as other species like smallmouth bass. However, as far as freshwater table fare is concerned, black crappies are at the top of my menu. Minnows, crustaceans, insects, and many other different types of small creatures and fish make up the black crappie's diet. When retrieving the lure, give it an enticing jigging action to mimic the small bait fish and crustaceans that crappies naturally feed upon. Black crappies have a beautifully spotted pattern along their sides. They are a cool-looking fish with a mouth similar to a bass. The best action was in the southernmost section of the pond, and fishing around submerged timber was proving very productive. There we go. Black crappies often traveled together in schools, and during this trip, Jeff and I would often catch several crappies back to back in the same spot. The action was great, and it didn't take long to catch enough for dinner. However, black crappies were not the only species lurking in this pond. There we go. Yeah, it seems like right over here there's a population of them. This guy feels bigger than the last one.
Like this, whatever it is. Down in the weeds now.
Oh! Chain pickerel are a common bycatch while targeting other species in ponds on Cape Cod and throughout Massachusetts. Slime dart.
Slime dart, lake snake.
Lots of nicknames for this guy. Pickerel are a very slimy fish, and they also have a set of very sharp teeth. A lot of anglers don't enjoy catching pickerel, but I've always thought they were a lot of fun. The small jigs were working very well. And just a few minutes later, Jeff was able to add another species to the list.
The prettiest fish I think we have in our waters.
Very pretty fish. And you don't really recommend eating these guys?
You can eat them.
Yeah.
They're not as good as a crappie or the perch, but people eat them. They go, you know, more like a bass kind of taste.
Gotcha.
A little more muddyish.
We decided to release the bluegill, but we did keep several of the black crappies. These fish were caught from clean, cold water, and their meat is healthy and firm. Black crappies have a nice white fillet, and there is very little red meat on them, which is perfect for pan frying. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Tight lines and take care.
Thank you to Ryan Collins of My Fishing Cape Cod for that report. When Lynn and Michael McNaught retired to their home in Falmouth in 2004, they brought their talents and a combined 84 years of experience in education to benefit the Falmouth community. For the depth and breadth of their contributions to education, the Falmouth Education Foundation honored the McNaughts at the 14th annual FEF Winter Gala. Here's more about the incredible endeavors that the McNaughts have made to help support education in their community.
Michael and Lynn. You've shown us that it takes imagination, persistence, hard work, and complete commitment to the mission for an organization to grow and flourish. Your skill, experience, and time have been invaluable gifts to FEF.
We could have warned the Falmouth community that wherever Lynn goes and wherever Lynn lands, she gets involved in the community at a microscopic level. And as a result, there are people who will benefit from Lynn's volunteerism, the care and concern she has inside of her, who will never meet Lynn McNaught. So what you're doing in paying tribute to her is deeply meaningful to all of us who love her.
Lynn, you spent your entire adult life working with school children, and I'm so proud of your dedication to the work of the Falmouth Education Foundation.
Lynn and Michael, you guys came to town, you rolled up your sleeves and got to work to change the educational experiences for children across the town of Falmouth. Your work has changed lives.
You're an inspiration to your family and in your community, as you have been in every community you've lived in.
Role model, mentor, leader. You influence the lives of so many people and were a catalyst for personal success, not just for me, but for countless children and people from every walk of life. You're a master at recognizing potential and helping people not only reach but exceed that potential. And that is a rare and beautiful skill.
I can't think of two people that deserve this honor more than the two of you. You guys have dedicated your lives and your free time to children and education and are really an inspiration to us all.
Thank you, Lynn and Michael, for all that you have done for FEF.
You have taught us the importance of taking care of our organization, our donors, and each other.
We're so grateful for your leadership and guidance throughout our time on FEF.
Congratulations, Lynn and Michael. We love you.
Congratulations, Lynn and Michael, a fitting honor for Falmouth's premier power couple.
I send you my heartfelt congratulations and love.
Congratulations, Lynn and Michael.
Congratulations, Lynn and Michael.
I am so grateful to you, and I love you both. Congratulations.
Thanks to Brian Switzer and Ryan Weber for that story. FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with sights and sounds from the Falmouth Public Schools All Bands Night, as students from Morse Pond, the Lawrence School, and Falmouth High School shared their instrumental talents with the Falmouth community. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.